Alright, welcome back to the channel, people of God. If you're new here, my name is Prince Èmail, and as you guys can tell by the title, today we are officially day number 19. We're almost getting to the day 20. But yeah, guys, as the title says, today we are reading the Psalm 92, and I will be reading from the ESV. In case you are new, we are doing a series on this channel whereby we go through the book of Psalms, and so we are reading the book of Psalms for the whole of this month, and so today makes day number 18. So if you are new, do be sure to go back and watch some of the previous videos and come back to this so that we can all finish strong for this year. All right. And so without any more addition, I will be reading through first, and then afterward I'll say something small. And so this is the Psalm 92, and the title says, "How great are your works." And so Psalm 92, and I read, "It is good to give thanks to the Lord, to sing praises to your name, O Most High, to declare your steadfast love in the morning and your faithfulness by night, to the music of the lute and the harp, to the melody of the lyre. For you, O Lord, have made me glad by your work. At the works of your hands I sing for joy. How great are your works, O Lord! Your thoughts are very deep. The stupid man cannot know, the fool cannot understand this, that though the wicked sprout like grass and all evildoers flourish, they are doomed to destruction forever. But you, O Lord, are on high forever. For behold your enemies, O Lord, for behold your enemies shall perish. All evildoers shall be scattered. But you have exalted my horn like that of the wild ox. You have poured over me fresh oil. My eyes have seen the downfall of my enemies. My ears have heard of the doom of my evil assailants. The righteous flourish like the palm tree and grow like the cedar in Lebanon. They are planted in the house of the Lord. They flourish in the courts of our God. They still bear fruit in old age. They are ever full of sap and green, to declare the Lord is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him. Alright, guys, this brings today's reading to an end, and I would like to point to the fact that this is a song, right? And so this is a song for the Sabbath. Alright, I'll read halfway through, I'll say something, and then afterwards I'll finish and add what I have to say. So I start over reading again. This is the Psalm 92. The starting says, "How great are your works." Alright, and I read Psalm 92 verse 1. "It is good to give thanks to the Lord, to sing praises to your name, O Most High, to declare your steadfast love in the morning and your faithfulness by night, to the music of the lute and the harp, to the melody of the lyre. For you, O Lord, have made me glad by your work. At the works of your hand I sing for joy." I think this, I don't know if it's just me, but anytime I read the word joy, I get happy myself, right? And so being that this is a song, it speaks or it's speaking from the idea of the creation of God, right? I think sometimes we do not stand still to kind of take in or even admire the creation of God, right? And I think also if people are to travel more, they get to see more of God's creation. And so that's also one thing that's on my, my one of my goals, to travel more in the future. But like, the world is just beautiful, right? And so as he says, "For you, O Lord, have made me glad by your work. At the works of your hand I sing for joy." That can apply for every and anything. Could be for his personal life. It could be, them singing to just their life in general, with how far or what they have attained. But for me, it speaks to me as just witnessing the creation of God, right? And so then I read from the verse 5 continuing. It says, "How great are your work, O Lord! Your thoughts are very deep. The stupid cannot know, and the foolish cannot understand this, that though the wicked sprout like grass, and all evildoers flourish, they are doomed to destruction forever. But you, O Lord, are on high forever. For behold your enemies, O Lord. For behold, your enemies shall perish, all evildoers shall be scattered." I remember the first time I read this, because I was listening to the Bible with the Psalm 91, and I remember after the Psalm 91, it continued right to the Psalm 92. And so it started off, with the beautiful things that it said from the verse 1 up until the verse 5. And then afterward, I heard the verse 8, and I'm like, dang, bro. I was like, dang, bro, chill. Like, the whole tone switches, right? From the verse 8 it says, "But you, O Lord, are on high forever, for behold your enemies, O Lord, for behold." It says that twice, and then it goes on to say, "Your enemies shall perish, all evildoers shall be scattered." And I was like, yo, that's a crazy switch. But what I would like to say from the verse 5, right, on going up onto the 8, is how we have to take note that it says, right, that the stupid cannot know, right, and the fool cannot understand this, that though the wicked sprout like grass. One thing about grass is that, I don't know if you guys know, but people do not deliberately plant grass. Like some people do, right, to harvest it, to build fields and stuff, but like generally grass can grow on its own, right? And so grass can spread very quickly, right? And so when it says that like evildoers sprout up like, grass, it basically means that evil is, easy to come by, especially in this world. I don't know if come by is the right word, but like evil is just ever present and it's everywhere almost, like it spreads. And so it says, although they sprout like grass and all evildoers flourish. That's something we have to take note of, right? I think sometimes when we look around us, we are like, people that are not serving God, or people who are not, we know them not to be right with God. Because, essentially, and if you are being honest, you don't always know a person's connection or fellowship or just their level of, belief with God, right? But sometimes we just judge from the outside, and looking out from the outside, sometimes we see people and we are like, they are flourishing, or when we know them to not be, right with God, or they are not even Christians or believers, we kind of look to them a bit in envy, and we have to check our hearts for that, right? But yeah, if either way, the Bible here confirms, right, that all evildoers flourish, right? And I don't think it means that necessarily in the way of, acquiring, wealth or anything, but in this life, just think about it, right? If you don't live with any, restrictions as far as like discipline, it is much easier to just, get around and do stuff according to your own will, right? That's another thing that I've heard a lot as a teenager, right? Even when I wasn't all that solid in my faith, one thing that I did hear people say a lot is that, when you do go into Christianity, is like a lot of restrictions on you. And that's almost like a thing that scares most people away, right? They do not want to live by those restrictions, right? And so the Bible here implies that although all evildoers flourish, right, they are doomed to destruction forever. So I'll continue from the verse 10. It says, "But you have exalted my horn like that of the wild ox. You have poured over me fresh oil. My eyes have seen the downfall of my enemies. My ears have heard the doom of my evil assailants." And this is my favorite part of the passage. It says, "The righteous flourish like a palm tree and grow like a cedar in Lebanon. They are planted in the house of the Lord. They flourish in the courts of our God. They bear fruit in old age and are ever full of sap and green, to declare the Lord is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him." The reason why I like this verse so much, right, is that, I did do my research for this video, because, I did not know what they meant, but I knew that it meant something. So I did my research where it says, the righteous flourish like a palm tree. One thing about a palm tree is that, a palm tree does not grow like other conventional trees, right? Palm trees are able to just grow upright, straight. They do not grow in circles, which is why they are able to be a bit more flexible, right? They are flexible, that they can even withstand, strong and heavy winds and storms. And the same for the cedar tree, right? The cedar tree in Lebanon is known to be, a very strong tree, in the sense that it can withstand the many seasons, right? And so its branches are very, fruitful. They do not wither that easily, right? And so they can withstand seasons. And so reading from the verse 12, we can understand that, the righteous people of God are sustained, right, regardless of the lows and regardless of the highs, right? And so then when the verse 14 speaks, it does, make a bit more sense, where it says that they bear fruit in old age, right? And they are full of sap and green. And then the final verse say, "To declare that the Lord is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him." Because there's no unrighteousness in God is why he was able, or he sent his only begotten son, because we know that Christ is God, right? To die for our sins, right? And so guys, that concludes today's reading. All right guys, my apologies, the camera died. I was hoping to finish the video before it died, and that's because, my spare batteries are also done. But yeah, it died, so we just have to do it this way for now. But yeah, I was done reading the passage, and so that would conclude today's reading. But one thing that I would like us to remember is just the title of the passage, right? Which says, "How great are your works." To me, it makes me think about, or it leads me to think about, the creation of God's hand, where it says, even in the verse 5, "How great are your works, O Lord, your thoughts are very deep." I'll just like us to think about how everything in this world, right, is made for a reason, and how everything kind of like sustains, or is needed for another creation, right? And so the idea that everything, or we were made by a mistake, is just, this passage, I believe, when we think about truly, when we truly think about the creation of God, I believe that even debunks the idea of things just being a mistake. As I always say, if the sun was a little bit closer or even a bit farther, we wouldn't exist. And so how marvelous is it that we have such a God behind us? That brings today's reading to an end. I thank you guys all for tuning in today. If you are new, do be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe and turn on your post notifications so that when I do drop tomorrow, you are notified. I thank you guys for watching, and on this note, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.